Hey, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Clinic Gym Radio. I'm your host, Dr. Josh Satterley, and it's my pleasure to be joined by someone who has absolutely maximized his license, and that is Dr. Raj Gupta. Raj, how are you?
I'm doing great, Doc. Thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
Absolutely. Now, Raj, can you give everybody an idea where you're at? And I forgot to say you're from Soul Focus, but what is Soul Focus and where is it?
Sure. Yeah. So Soul Focus, SOUL, is a comprehensive wellness center that I built here in New Jersey. I built it in 2010. That has a medical component, a full service gym, and a full service spa.
That's awesome. So it's right up our alley with the whole hybrid facility. Although you actually have more than a hybrid, you have like a hybrid plus, you have all those things going on. And how big is your gym currently?
The gym is about 4,500 square feet. I'll tell you, so I built this as a prototype. And if I had my druthers, which I am now doing in another location, I'd like to build that gym a little larger. Okay. But for its purposes, we do a really good job. We pack a lot of people into that 4,500 square feet.
Okay. And are you on the kind of higher end boutique locker rooms and showers end of things, or is it more the kind of CrossFit open box work?
So this is very high end, except for the price. So we have a tiny tile in the showers. We have eucalyptus steam rooms and infrared saunas. And the locker rooms are just very, very high end. However, I don't charge. I charge a typical membership is $29, $39 a month. I want to make it accessible for everybody. And really, I just want to bring in the traffic. I want to have that fishing pond where I can take my fishing pole and just pull them in and lasso them into my practice.
So your gym is kind of offset by your marketing budget, essentially. Like it is a big part of getting people into your facility.
It is. Many large gym franchises, they lease out space to either physical therapists or chiropractors or both. And the PTs and the chiros, they go to where the fish are, So I figured if I could build my own little pond, it would help the practice, but also help my patients once I discharge them to stay in the building and help encourage them to stay healthy. We see a lot of couch potatoes, Doc. They come in with, this ailment, that ailment, and we get them in a whole different mindset where they're looking to take more accountability for their health and wellness. And we try to encourage them, especially we do the last phase of active care or physical therapy in the gym so they can get familiar with it. And then hopefully after we discharge them, they stay on.
I love it. It's awesome. It's everything that we want in a great facility, right? And patient care is amazing. I think one a lesson that I'm hearing there is when you use that gym for marketing, setting up a low barrier offer, so $29 to $39 a month is, a lot of people can afford that. But what you're doing is you're pre-screening everybody who actually wants to be active. So you're not just sending out your ads to everybody in your community. You're sending it out to people who at least are willing to put the effort of coming into a physical fitness facility and exercising.
What's great is that the wellness center attracts like-minded people. So it's attracting the demographic of people that I would treat in my practice.
Yeah. And that also, by the way, for everybody listening, those people I'm going to guess also respond to the care that you provide and the services you provide much better than somebody who is a total couch potato, smoking, drinking every night that just, right. What are you going to do for that person,
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, so people kind of negate that, but if you use that gym as a method, it certainly predisposes you for people who value that kind of lifestyle. So that's awesome.
Yes, absolutely.
Let's go back though. So you have this huge facility. I mean, Soul Focus, beautiful. You have, it's large, and I'm sure that a lot of people are going, that's great. Obviously his dad owned the gym and then he got passed down and, his family's so let's go back. So where did you go to chiropractic college?
I went to Life Chiropractic, now Life University in Atlanta.
Okay. And roughly what year did you get out of there?
I graduated 1996.
Okay, cool. You graduated right when wasn't that the 96 Olympics, weren't they?
It was, man. So I was down there for a Super Bowl, World Series, and then I capped off my chiropractic scholastic career with the Summer Olympics, and I graduated 6 months later. And I was down in Atlanta at a very cool time. It was a lot of
Right.
fun.
Wow. Well, I'm sure for the city of Atlanta, the World Series, Super Bowl were big, Olympics bigger, but
It
you
was
graduating was the biggest part. I'm sure that
no,
like
for
this
sure.
is the biggest event we've ever held. Yeah. So you graduated in 96, and did you go work for somebody? Just start your own? How'd you do it?
I did. I worked as an associate for two different docs. I learned a lot from both of them. And then, see, I didn't open up my practice till 2003. So I was working for somebody for about 4 years there.
Yeah. Okay. So you open up, and what do you first open up?
So I opened up, and by the way, no, my father was not a wealthy man, and I took out loans for chiropractic school. My parents were kind enough to pay for undergrad,
Uh-huh.
but when it came to opening up a practice, I went to the bank and got a loan. And in fact, it was a $50,000 loan and then a $50,000 credit line. And that's how I started my career. But I opened up, back then it was called a multidisciplined practice. We had an MD, a PT, chiro, and then within a couple of months, we added acupuncture.
Awesome. And how did you, back in those days, or even today, how did you get a medical doctor and a PT and all that to work with you? Because I'm sure some people are going, that's a huge hurdle.
Yeah. So back then too, I mean, now that model is very common, but back then people thought I was out of my gourd. PTs and chiros don't work together. And I tried to explain to people that biomechanically, it is the musculoskeletal system. So the physical therapists worked on the muscles and I worked on the skeleton as a chiropractor. That I believe is complete musculoskeletal care. So once I explained it to people, they got it. And the medical doctor actually was able to write the scripts for PT, write the scripts for acupuncture, and we're minimally invasive. We do injections like trigger point injections and some joint injections, but we never wrote scripts.
Okay.
So actually, a medical physician was a physiatrist, and it was a good blend.
Awesome. So you open that up first, and then kind of what expands. So you have PT, medical doctor, and an acu after the first year, and then what?
So we were in 1,800 square feet when we first opened. And about 10 months later, the suite next to us opened up, and I thought that I'd never have that opportunity again. So we broke down the wall. With the landlord's permission, of course. And we expanded to 4,200 square feet. And I remember, oh my gosh, what the heck am I doing? But within 9 months after that, we were out of space. I mean, we were just growing exponentially because people understood the model, and I was on purpose and have a lot of passion. I'm a straight chiro man. I believed in removing that nervous system interference, and we had a lot of success. And that plus guerrilla marketing where, I had patients walk up to me at different events, like, didn't I just see you at, and I'm like, yeah, they're like, you are everywhere. And I'm like, I got a job to, for my community to get out there. So that's how I started to build.
Very cool. And so, what were you surprised by, just out of curiosity, when people started seeing what you had and kind of could take what they wanted or not? Did anything surprise you, or were you kind of taken aback, like you underestimated how many people needed the acupuncturist or the medical doctor or the chiropractor?
I still am. I think the statistic is only 7% of the nation's population sees a chiropractor. That tells me two things. One, there's 93% of people out there that I can still go out and reach. And two, I have no competition. These chiros who look at other chiros as competition, man, you're leaving 93% of the population on the table. There's plenty of people out there. Go out and work together, change the world, man. We got to change this sick care system to a healthcare system, true healthcare.
Mm-hmm. And so you never had a problem running in to fill these places. I mean, if you're willing to expand after 10 months, and then would you say you expanded again, right?
Yeah, so I never really had a problem filling my practice. It's when I got crazy. People really thought I was crazy. My colleagues, my mother, for God's sake, begged me not to build my wellness center. It's a 16,000 square foot building that I built from the ground up, which is just asinine. I'm going to tell you, I had a passion and I had a dream, and it almost bankrupted me. So I got into this building. And it was the height of the recession in 2010.
Wow.
And people had very little disposable income because of what the financial climate was like. And then here on the East Coast in 2012, we got hit by Hurricane Sandy. So I'm looking around this huge facility that I spent way too much money to build because I was young, dumb, and naive. And all of a sudden, I don't have the amount of people coming in. I was facing bankruptcy, and it was a very scary time. So I had to really fight and scratch and get out there. And I believed in my model. So I'm happy to say that I came out of the woods on the other side, but it was touch and go there for a long time.
So as far as the model, you and I want to get back to that, the dark days, because every successful business owner I've ever talked to has had some dark days. And I would say, like, if you don't have dark days, you're probably not pushing the growth model enough,
Right.
like, but as far as that, so the model, so somebody would come in for chiropractic, they get to the end of care, and then did you try and refer them in-house to somebody else, or at least to the gym?
Well, so we have a integrated model. So when you came into our practice, the first person you saw was the chiropractor
Okay.
and the medical doctor, and now we have nurse practitioners. And patients would get combination physical therapy and chiropractic on one visit. Often would get acupuncture on the same visit. So they're oftentimes seeing 3-4 providers on one visit. And I'll tell you, the doing consults and doing reported findings with other providers in the room, telling patients that we work together as a team, and them seeing it firsthand. I always would dog and pony show. Every time I'm doing a consult, I sit with a patient. I pause for a second. I say, "Hey, John, when's the last time you had 3 doctors in the room all at once?" And they're like, Never, doc.
Never.
And I'm like, that's our model, man. We're all working together from different disciplines to help you. You're the one who benefits.
That's awesome. So now now that it's all built out and everything's running perfect and there's no worries,
Well, I wouldn't say that, but yeah.
what's it like fully built out? How many providers, how many staff, what are we?
Okay. So we have 2 nurse practitioners. We have 3 chiropractors, 2 physical therapists. We have 1 full-time acupuncturist. We have a couple of PT aides. And then the gym and the spa, between class instructors and personal trainers and massage therapists and estheticians. So I've got just over 70 people on staff in our 16,000 square foot facility. It's a lot. It's a lot, but it took a lot to get going. It was very difficult, but now it's great because our patients see it, our gym members see it, our spa goers see it. And now what we try to do is encourage them to cross-refer to the other businesses.
Very cool. And it probably looks from the outside like it's just smooth as glass, right?
It looks like it's smooth as glass, but there's a lot of moving parts, man. So I was just speaking to my CFO, who just got back from vacation, and I was asking him how Aruba was, and he goes, "Man, I was up at 3 o'clock every morning checking the bank accounts. I'm losing sleep. So it's a lot. It's a lot."
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure it brings in a lot, but it also kicks out a lot with 16 people getting paid. I can't imagine what payroll's like for you. It's its own mountain, right?
It's a monster. It's a monster. It's over $200,000 a month at overhead.
Yeah. Awesome.
Are you interested in becoming a better provider for musculoskeletal conditions? Well, if you know me, you might have seen me out on the road, but I totally believe in, I adore the SFMA, the Selective Functional Movement Assessment. It is a fantastic way of assessing the movement-based dysfunctions in your patients. Now, why movement? Because movement has to do with motor control, and that's usually the first sign that pain is going to develop. And it's a better, more reliable method than assessing pain. So if you're interested in using a movement-based diagnostic system as part of your intake protocol, I would highly recommend the SFMA. Plus, they've got the best instructors. I'm one of them, so I'll make it fun. I'm easy to listen to, and, well, I don't know about that, but I enjoy teaching it, and it's a fantastic course. I recommend it. So check out functionalmovement.com and look for an SFMA course near you. Functionalmovement.com. Look for an SFMA Level 1 coming to your area. Hope to see you there.
how many patients are you seeing in like a week? If you combine everything seen by the chiros, the nurse practitioners, everybody.
Sure. So we count, if you were to come in and see the physical therapist and the chiropractor on one visit, we still only count that as one visit. But we see about 250 visits a week.
Okay. And so that may be, that may be 500 contacts with providers, right? I could, like you said, see the chiro and the PT on one day. That's one visit, although that's two providers I've worked with.
That's correct. Yes.
Okay. And what's the most number of providers? Do you find that like patients will work with a PT and chiro, but when you start bringing in a third, does it get cumbersome time wise, or?
It's tough. Each visit is about an hour and a half. Yeah. But we prepare patients for that in the beginning, and we get them to have the understanding that it's an integrative model, and to have all these disciplines working on you. That's what it takes. It's about 45 minutes to an hour of physical therapy, 15 to 20 minutes of chiro. And if we work in an acuvisit on that visit as well, we try to cut back the PT and the chiro to allow a half hour for acupuncture. And of course, the nurse practitioners, it's their patient. Yeah. They're the gatekeepers. So they do follow-up visits and exams, E&Ms, and they continue to change the treatment plans and update scripts.
Very cool. And so you have all these different services. If you were to go back in time and talk to a young chiro, if let's say you're a speaker at graduation at Life there.
Yeah.
What do you look at as what can be done with your license now compared to what you thought it could be done day one of graduation?
Gosh. Holy moly.
In my podcast, I say every time, maximize your license. Go out there, maximize your license. And you have really done that. Although you have other providers providing things, you certainly have used your license to the maximum of folks that I have.
Absolutely. Yeah. So stem cell therapy, we've been doing that now for 2.5 years, which is the future of the healthcare field. Functional medicine, which I believe that was made chiropractic. So, we have 3 functional medicine niches. One is truly reversing type 2 diabetes, reversing thyroid conditions, and reversing cognitive decline Alzheimer's, all through functional medicine. That's all cash. Obviously, insurance doesn't cover any of that, but we are changing and saving lives. So if that's what you call maximizing your license, that is definitely what we are doing. Yeah. I'm taking, I have other providers. Obviously, I wouldn't be able to do what I'm doing in functional medicine without the medical department that we have, but that is run by chiros. It is the chiropractors that are saving people's lives without medication with diabetes, thyroid. It's just ridiculous. The medical model for these 3 diseases, it just leads to more disease. When you have diabetes, go on metformin and then eventually go on insulin, it just gets worse. Then you're losing limbs. Thyroid, we don't know how to take care of a thyroid in the medical model. The chiropractic model or the functional medicine model is finding what's causing that issue, reversing it, getting people off of, or out of hypothyroidism, which is the biggest one that we see, more so than hyper. But we can deal with that too. And then cognitive decline, man, I'll tell you, the pharmaceutical companies, they're the ones who would be the first to tell you that they don't know what's up. Merck and Eli Lilly, they had these research teams trying to figure, and their medications that were geared to remove the amyloid plaquing in people's brains worked. But then they realized that amyloid plaquing was a defense mechanism for the brain, and unfortunately, they accelerated the disease and people died quicker. Oh. So they don't even know what to do with that. And what we're doing is we're finding that, metal toxicity, biotoxins such as mold, glycotoxins. There's a number of different factors contributing to the decline and shrinking of that brain that's leading to cognitive decline and eventually Alzheimer's. And by reversing and removing those contaminants, people's brains are coming back, man. It's great. It's awesome.
That's got to be an interesting thing because, if you're starting to lose that cognitive ability, that's a scary time in life, right? Because you don't know what you're going to wake up and be able to or not be able to do tomorrow.
That's exactly right.
Yeah.
That's exactly right.
Very cool. So, when I say maximize your license, like anybody listening, if you love adjusting people and you want to just do the rehab yourself and all that, that's totally fine. Like,
Yes.
but I think one thing that Raj has demonstrated is you can use that to treat people, which you did, right? But you can also use that healthcare license as your gateway into multiple businesses that require a healthcare license, right? You can't own a wellness center without a healthcare license, but that could be a MD, that could be a DC, that could be a DO. So why not use that, because it's giving you that, whatever you say, legal hall pass to do that.
Yeah, and I'll tell you what, there's a lot of medical providers that are totally on board with what we're doing. Not only on board, but seeking us out. They, our nurse practitioners, which typically, like nurse practitioners and physician assistants, they get the grunt work. And in essence, what they're asked to do is what the doctors don't want to do, which is write a lot of scripts for pain meds. So when I'm interviewing mid-levels, they ask me, it seems like there's a wall up because there's a medical wall. They're dealing with a chiropractor. They don't even know what chiropractic is, most of these mid-levels. And they've got this wall up, like, I don't know if this is going to be a good fit. And then they ask me, how many scripts would I be writing? And when I tell them none for medication, you see that wall come right down and their sight, and they're like, oh my gosh, you get people well without medicine? It's like a novel idea, but they're out there looking for you, because the medical field, even those within the medical field, know that they're not helping people.
Right. I mean, I don't think, I say this often to people, but I don't think any medical doctor ever went to school and said, what I want to do is spend 4 minutes with a person and I want to see 200 people a day and barely get paid any money for it. They went into the whole deal wanting to help people, and medicine is one of those abilities, but it's just like there are plenty of chiropractors to help people that never adjust. It's like
Right.
adjustments are one of those methods, but that doesn't mean it's the only method you could use. And nobody wants to be forced into just one method. I don't think medical doctors want to be forced into just writing script after script after script. But in the 4-minute office visit, what choice?
What else can you do?
Yeah.
You don't have, oftentimes, and you know this, and everyone listening knows this. Oftentimes you go to a medical doctor, they ask you what's going on. You almost self-diagnose. They give you a script, and out the door you go to the pharmacy. So it's awful. It's a terrible model. I think the greatest thing that I'm most excited about is that there is a national trend in our country towards health and wellness. People are starting to wake up and see that these medications, listen, man, in 2016, 46,000 people died from opioid addiction. In 2017, it went to 70,000 people. The numbers are just coming in for 2018. It's not good. It's not good. So people know this. They know that these medications are not helping. Unfortunately, we've been brainwashed by the medical community, but more importantly, the pharmaceutical companies, to think that there's a pill for everything. And these pills, they might squelch symptoms, but they never get to the root or cause of the problem. And as a chiropractor and a functional medicine doc and stem cell doc, where you can do regenerative medicine, man, it's an exciting time to be a chiropractor. I'm proud to be a chiropractor. I'm proud to be an alternative healthcare, preventative healthcare provider, because if you've got a passion for what you do, man, it's very rewarding.
That's awesome, man. I really appreciate that. And I get asked by people all the time, like, hey, where can I see one of these clinics? Or, can people reach out to you and kind of talk to you about through this? Yeah. How can they do so?
I welcome people to reach out to me and come visit and, take a tour through Soul Focus. I've had people all over the country fly in to come see it. They need to almost see it to believe it. And you know what? I'll tell you, you can go online. You can check out soulfocus.com. It's SOULFOCUS.com. And you can see pictures. I mean, but you'll never do it justice, man. I'll tell you that we have fountains, running water. That's the first thing you hear when you walk in. Spa music. It is meant for you to check out of life for the hour or hour and a half that you're with us. And people use it as their refuge, man. We live in New Jersey, man. It's a stressful state. It's a high stress, high volume, very fast living. So it's great to see people open up the door and just go, We have massage chairs all over the place where people can just sit and just it's a wonderful. It exceeds my dreams of what I set out to build. And I'm in the process of building 2 more. I've written 2 books on the subject, one for physicians and one for gym owners.
Nice.
The one is called The Wellness Center Solution: How Physicians Can Transform Their Practices, Their Incomes, and Their Lives. That's on Amazon and BarnesandNoble.com and iTunes. And the second one, which is I'm really proud of this book. It's called From Health Club to Healthcare: How Gym Owners Can 10x Their Income. And it convinces, both books are about building wellness centers, which I believe is the future of healthcare. And Dr. Satterley, when I came out and met you out at the Parker seminars when you were speaking, I'm like, oh my gosh. At first, I thought I was on an island by myself, and I felt like, oh my gosh, I hear life, and I'm running through the woods, and there was Dr. Satterley doing the same thing, and I was so. You probably thought I was a crazy guy. I was so excited to see somebody else doing what we're doing, because I believe that that's the future. And it's in our makeup as chiropractors to not just to get people out of pain, but we're wellness docs, man. We want everyone living at their highest productivity. And I use an acronym called FOCUS. F is for fitness, O is for optimism, C is for consumption, the U is for you, how to take care of you, and S is for sleep. And I think combination of those 5 aspects is how you find the fountain of youth.
Nice. I like it. Well, I appreciate that. And you said people can get those books on Amazon?
Yep, Amazon.com.
So they just search your name, Raj Gupta, then they should be able to pull them up too, correct?
They should, or the Wellness Center, the titles of the book, The Wellness Center Solution, or From Health Club to Healthcare. They can find them both very easily on Amazon.
Awesome. Well, Ryan,
go
ahead.
If you would reach out to me personally, I'm happy to send people copies of the book. I didn't write these books to make money. I wrote these books for people to read, and for gym owners and for chiropractors and other physicians to get on board, because let's go change the world. Let's change the healthcare, the sick care model to true healthcare. And truly, that's what it's all about.
Yeah. Well, how can they reach out to you? What's the best way?
My email, it's Dr. Raj, which is DRRAJ at soulfocus.com, SOULFOCUS.com. So Dr. Raj at soulfocus.com.
Awesome, man. Well, Dr. Raj, I really appreciate you taking the time today. And I think this is super exciting because what you're doing is, man, I just look at that chiropractic license as that was the key to the door for you, right? You open up that door and, hey, this is everything I can do, instead of just looking at it as this is all I can do, And
it was like a driver's license for healthcare.
Good way to say it. And then you went to Richard Petty race car driving school or whatever with it, but like a driver's license. Yeah. So I hope more people are listening to this and really, building what they want, because it sounds like you saw the power of these different things and built them. And those, the regenerative medicine and the functional medicine doesn't appeal to everybody, but that's okay. Like, I hope people are hearing that whatever you want to do, you can go after and do it at a level that, a lot of people that you were sitting next to at graduation didn't think was possible.
Yes. The biggest thing I would say is that what you think about, you could definitely bring about. And if you're on purpose for wanting to help people, there's so much more that you can do than just adjusting. And listen, I graduated from life. I'm a straight chiro. I love my hands and I love adjusting and I love being a chiro, but there's so much more you can do to help your patients.
Right. Yeah. I mean, I'm admitting that I'm not as straight as I believe you are, but the thing is, it's a funny thing. We both come back to exercise, like provide a gym for your patients. We both come back to these ideas of like, there are other things that these same people, whether you're straight or mixer or whatever, the patient should really be driving what they want. And what they're saying to you, or what you've noticed, Raj, is like, hey, I'm going to pay somebody to do this procedure. And if that was under the same house, I'd love it. I'm going to pay somebody else for acupuncture. I'm going to pay somebody else for regenerative medicine, and it's already that person that I know, like, and trust. And you know what? When I'm done with getting my stem cell injections, I'm going to keep working out at this place. It's easier for them. It's more convenient for them. They have a relationship with those same people.
It's one-stop shopping.
Yeah. Yeah.
One-stop shopping where all the docs are communicating with each other for your benefit.
Right. I mean, I think like so many of the regenerative places I see are missing the boat because they do injections. I'm like, and then what? Like, what's after that? Like, come on, like you don't get your knee injected so that it stops hurting. You get your knee injected so you can run or play golf or go travel. So that leads me to go, well, you need probably like PT and exercise after that. That's what the magic is.
Many need lifestyle changes. So, we turn away a lot of people from stem cell or regenerative medicine injections because the fact of the matter is the reason why the knee started to degenerate is because there's too much weight on it.
Yeah.
So, if we regenerate the knee, and you don't lose the weight, it's defeating the purpose.
Yeah. So you guys are actually, but you're offering them those other paths. Like, hey, let's push that off for 6 months while we work on diet and exercise.
That's exactly right.
Awesome. Well, man, you are doing it right, brother. So I really appreciate you being on here, and I hope people do reach out to you. And give out your email address one more time so that people can send you something.
Sure thing. Thank you. It's Dr. Raj, DRRAJ, at soul, focus.com. Dr. Raj at soulfocus.com.
Fantastic. All right. Well, Dr. Raj, thank you so much. And on behalf of Dr. Raj, this is Dr. Josh Satterley saying, go out there, do what Dr. Raj done, and maximize your license and live the life you dream of.
Hey, how about that? Another great interview here on Clinic Gym Radio. Listen, if you're serious about starting up your own Clinic Gym Hybrid, then please go to clinicgymhybrid.com and check out our website there. We also love to get you involved in our accelerator program, which will walk you through step by step the 42 pieces you need to start your own Clinic Gym Hybrid. I'm Dr. Josh Satterley. We'll talk to you later.